Arb Nation, it is Season 10, and I cannot wait to bring you the ultimate frenzy leveling guide. The way that we're going to do this, we're going to break down how the build is going to work with a quick overview of the new skills that are going to be working with the Chaos perks. Now, not only that, then we're going to break down how the planners are going to work for you so you can follow along as you level, because the planners are set up so that it will take you on a journey right from level 1 all the way straight to level 60, and then we'll transition you into a really fun and hard-hitting endgame build. In Season 10, we're going to be getting what is going to be called the Chaos perks. These are going to transform the way that we play our characters in a very unique way. For the basic skill builds for the Barbarian, what we're going to be running is we're going to be running Dual Threat. Passing a basic skill also uses another equipped basic skill at the target, dealing 80% of its normal damage. Now, when we're running this Frenzy build here, this Frenzy build will be combined with the power of Lunging Strike. Lunging Strike paired with the power of Frenzy is going to be an absolutely insane combination because we're going to be able to take advantage of Mani. Mani normally would not be available when you're using a Frenzy build, but this right here will transform this build in a brand new way. We're going to be able to use Tech combined with Mani in order to spawn Earthquakes, which during the leveling process is the strongest hands down way to get your character leveled up. Once you find all of the crazy aspects for Earthquake, this ability does a massive amount of damage all the way up through the Torment tiers. So if you love the dual wield fast-paced ability of Frenzy, this is going to be a brand new way for you to hop in and play this build. It is going to be incredibly fun, incredibly strong, and very fast. The way that the planner is going to break down for you, we're going to be starting with your level 1 to 25, your level 26 to 40, and then your level 41 to 60. Starting in the level 1 to 25 to the 26 to 40, you will not have any aspects on there that will be able to be found from a drop. You'll be able to go to a dungeon, complete that dungeon, and then get all of the aspects you'll need to put together a very comprehensive build. Now, how do you know which dungeons to go to? Well, I've got you covered there. If you scroll down to the bottom of all of the planners, you can open up the dungeon aspects over here. This will have a list of every single dungeon that you're going to need in order to get this completed. We'll also have a list of all of the specific dropped aspects that you're going to need in order to make your build hit the hardest it possibly can. Now, this is great. We have a whole list of dungeons, but how do you know where the dungeons are without scrolling over your map, hovering over every single dungeon that's out there, or hitting Google and trying to find them all? Well, let's take a look in-game, and I can show you exactly how to do that. When you open up your Codex of Power here, you're going to go here and you're going to go to the top. Now, I found all the aspects on my Barbarian, but we're going to uncheck this one right here, and then we're going to scroll down to the very bottom here. You'll be able to find dungeons, and it'll tell you whether or not it's salvaged or whether or not they come from a dungeon. This says the Crumbling Heckma. We actually are going to hit this right here where it says Pin on Map. When we click the Pin on Map, we open up our map, and it will actually put a pin on the dungeon exactly where it is so that we know that we have to go and complete this stronghold in order to unlock that specific dungeon and then get your aspect. So you can use this again to get yourselves all of the aspects you need to put that build together and help your leveling process in the late game. You can do this as soon as you hit the ground running. It's incredibly important to get these done if this is going to be your first playthrough and you're unfamiliar with the class, maybe you're trying something else out. This will help make that leveling process and that journey a lot faster. When you're looking at the planners here, you're going to go into your skill tree. When you open up your skill tree here, we're going to maximize the skill tree. And then at the very top here, we're going to hit leveling path. This leveling path is going to take into account that you have completed all of your Renown. And if you haven't done your Renown yet, make sure you click the link in the top of the description of this video to get yourself to the video that covers Renown, because it's incredibly important. This gives you 12 skill points if you have the expansion pack, 10 if you don't, right at the very start of the season. You don't have to wait, you don't have to level. So these planners all take that into consideration. If you do not have these, all you're going to do is just put your points in the order that it says. It will show a little bit different level here as you go because you haven't gotten them already. But what you're going to do is you're just going to go through and then you're going to put in your points in this order. If you were to just follow along with the planner and then go down the list and then just fill out the board completely, you would miss out on a lot of really key options at very key moments during the leveling process. If you look here, we've only spent 37 points in this first one because that is all you're going to need in order to finish out the first variant of the planner. Then when we go into your next one, we spent 52 points. And then we're going to finish that out with your final variant right here. We're going to take a look at the skill tree. Now I'm going to go from top to bottom. So if you want to follow along, make sure you use the leveling path. When I talk about this is not going to be the order to put the skills in, so use that. We're going to be maxing out Frenzy here, all the way down through Battle Frenzy. This is going to give us some additional attack speed whenever we're berserking. Because a dual threat will be casting both of our basic skills, we're also going to end up maxing out Lunging Strike. Now follow along because you don't automatically just do it. We're going to go all the way down through Battle Lunging Strike. This is going to add some bleed to your Lunging Strikes that's going to get cast. Then we're going to be taking Ground Stomp all the way up through Tactical Ground Stomp. Ground Stomp is now going to be a brawling skill, which that will come into play later on in the skill tree. It's going to deal some big damage early on, and it's also going to be a source of vulnerable damage. We're going to take Martial Vigor here for some damage reduction against elite enemies. Then we're going to take Imposing Presence for some additional maximum life. Rallying Cry all the way down through Strategic Rallying Cry. This is going to be a great source of unstoppable, movement speed, and fortify. Belligerence, whenever we deal damage with the basic skill, we're going to deal increased damage. Warcry all the way down through Power Warcry. This is going to give us some additional damage and grant us berserking. Booming Voice is going to give us some uptime on our shouts. We're going to take Aggressive Resistance all the way down through Battle Fervor. This is the reason why we want to make our Ground Stomp a brawling skill. Whenever our brawling skills, which is going to be Ground Stomp, damages at least one enemy, we're going to gain berserking. Pit Fighter, we're going to deal additional damage to close enemies, as well as gain some damage reduction. Slaying Strikes, we're going to deal increased damage to healthy and injured enemies. Injured is anything below 35% life. Healthy is anything above 80% life. No Mercy, we're going to gain some additional critical strike chance. 1 point into Thick Skin so we can unlock counteroffensive. Whenever our Fortify is above 50% of our maximum life, we're going to deal additional damage. We're going to go 2 points into Defensive Stance. This is going to give our Fortify some additional damage reduction, as well as give us a passive heal. We're going to be maxing out Call of the Ancients here, going up all the way through Supreme Call of the Ancients. This is a great source of attack speed, damage, and increased damage. We're going to be taking Duelist here. This is going to give us some additional attack speed when we're using one-handed weapons. Frenzy has to use one-handed weapons for this build, so we're going to be taking a one-handed sword and a one-handed mace. For this one here, we're also going to be running Heavy Hitter. This is going to increase the damage that our Call of the Ancients does. Our Earthquakes do, so this is going to be a great source of additional damage. Then we're going to be taking Wallop. Because we're going to have one-handed mace on, skills using a bludgeoning weapon are going to deal 15% increased damage to stunned or vulnerable enemies. We're going to get vulnerable damage from your Ground Stomp, as well as from the wolves from your runes. Then we're going to take Unconstrained. While you're berserking, that bonus is going to get increased. While we're not healthy, below 80% life, we're always going to be berserk, and we're going to have 30% physical damage reduction. That's the skill tree. Let's hop back into the planner. This variant will also have assigned skills. These skills will include all of the dropped aspects that you're going to need. It's also only set up so that if you do find one of these aspects, all you have to do is put it on. You don't have to worry about moving gear around or anything. You just put on the aspect and it will replace a key piece that you will need to get the build up and running. Now, as you go, once you hit level 10, you're going to actually be able to temper. So what we've done is at the very beginning is we put on just a very minimal amount of tempers or affixes that you're going to want to use when you're leveling. These down here, now this is a secret tip that is incredibly important for the leveling process. In the very early stages of the game, you're going to do about 20 to 30 damage, and that is going to be towards the top end. If you were to temper every single one of these lucky hits here, on your two-handed weapon, it's going to do about 150 damage with a very basic temper that you will always have. That is a lot more damage than what you would normally be doing at that level. So adding these tempers on is actually incredibly cheap, and you should always be tempering your gear every single time that you make a gear check. Now, what does a gear check mean? If you come over to my website here, this will be optimized by the time the season goes live for season 10. Most of it hasn't changed yet, but this will give you a step-by-step of how to get your character from level 1 to level 60, and it will tell you exactly what those gear checks are. This will walk you through what a gear check is, and then when to do it, how often you should do it, and then what you should use to do it in. So if you use the website, the link will be in the description of this video as well for the leveling path. It's incredibly helpful having some sort of plan when you go into the new season. As you progress through your tiers, your gear stats will actually increase and you'll get more and more added on as you go. When we hit our final level 41 to 60, this is when you will have a full stat sheet set up. Now, you do not have to replace every single piece of gear and look for these specific stats. But if you do happen to find a piece of gear with these stats on it, that will be the best way to get your character set up for success. And don't forget to scroll down to see where your rotations are, how to set up your defenses, and then what your offense is going to be looking like. This will get you all set up to get your character the fastest from level 1 to level 60. The final thing that I'm going to leave you with today is check out our Discord. The link will be in the top of the description of this video. We have groups going at the very launch of every single season. So if you want to be a part of that, don't miss out. We also are going to be having a whole events team set up to get you some events in season 10 that are going to be incredibly fun, very, very helpful, and it is something that you do not want to miss. We will also have events going on at the very start of the season, including leveling groups, Infernal Horde groups, boss runs. As the season progresses, these will become more and more sponsored just by the clan. In the very beginning, we're all going to band together, we're all going to start leveling together, and we're all going to pitch in order to get the events up and running. So this is something that if you have very limited time, this is a great option for you because there's always people running. The trade chat blows up all day long. There's always people talking there. We have voice chats going, and we also have a class-specific channel for each one that you're going to be doing. If you do want to try to join the in-game clan, there will be a little bit of a wait time. However, we treat Discord as the clan. If you join the Discord, you are part of the clan with us, and welcome to the Legion. That's all I got for you today. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you share it with your friends. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm live every night. I'd love it if you stopped by, said hi, theory crafted with me. Catch you on the clip side.